Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
All right, so you might not be having the best day ever. I hope you are, but if you're not, we're going to work on that with you, and we're going to be positive. And I know some people say, well, be positive. Everybody talks about be positive. No, there's a reason, because we're talking about the power of positivity and the power of attraction, being positive and how it attracts positivity to your life. And to help us along with that, we've got Kathy D. Carter, who's just an amazing energy healer. She's a Reiki master. She does so many different things to help people. And it's great to have you back, Kathy. How you doing?
Thank you, Steve. I'm doing great today. Glad to be here.
You sound positive.
Yes, I am.
You know, it's in life in general, it is so hard to be positive. And I get that. We have so much going on that you can't be positive 24/7. However, you can try and find the positivity in even the little things that are going on to just propel you, make you feel a little bit better from time to time, right?
Absolutely. One of the biggest things that people don't understand is that our brain, our mind, most people let it be on the runaway. And in reality, that's what meditation is for. It helps us get control of our thoughts. Our thoughts should not be on runaway. We should have control of them. And meditation helps us to focus in so that we can even hear what we're saying to ourselves. That's one of the first steps that people have trouble with, is just being able to tune in and hear the phrases they say to themselves. And in order to be positive, you have to catch those before you can try to retrain yourself to be positive.
Yeah, it's so true. And I can speak from experience. I know exactly what you're talking about, because all the little things in life that used to happen, I used to miss them. I didn't even see it until I trained myself to just think in a certain way. And of course, it varies. You know,
Of course.
You know, we're all human. Can't just be a robot and just think one way. But then I started seeing those signs of positivity, and it's made a difference. All I can do is speak for myself and my experience, but it does really, really change your life when you take that direction. And that's a great point, Kathy, that you bring up about meditation. It's not easy to do sometimes, but when you do, you're kind of in a zone where you're kind of focusing in on something instead of thoughts running all over the place.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things that people forget, is when you start meditating, your thoughts are going to be running everywhere. You're not even going to be able to find maybe what you're saying to yourself, but that's okay. It's the persistence and the rhythm of learning to just sit there for the 5 minutes, the 20 minutes, whatever you decide to do, and make it a regular practice. Because eventually, if you focus, even if it's just on your breath, and another way I do it is have people count backwards with their breath. So you might start at 499 or 99, and you take a breath in, you say 90, you breathe out, you say 9, you breathe in, you say 90, you breathe out, you say 8. And if you get lost, you have to start over. But that will help train you to learn to get control of the mind and the thoughts that are running rampant, because they control your life.
Oh, yeah. It's almost like trying to go to sleep and you have so much on your mind that you can't fall asleep. Meditation, same exact way. In fact, they do say it's a form of meditation just before you fall asleep, that just a couple of seconds before you're out. It's almost like a meditative or a hypnotic state that you're in. When we talk about power of attraction, what are some ways that we can bring positive things to us or attract things to us that we're searching for, we're looking for?
Daydreams, the first thing that came to my mind. When we daydream about something we're wanting, when we daydream about being in a place of Mother Nature, maybe, when we're relaxed, when we're enjoying what we've got going on in our mind, we're attracting at that point, because we are relaxing into the moment. We're thinking about what we want, and we're very positive. So positive things are going to be attracted to us.
It's so true. And I hate to say this, but be careful what you wish for, because
Oh, yes.
you're going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it again. you're going to get it. It's going to happen. It may not happen right now. It may take years for it to happen, but if you keep manifesting something, you keep asking for, or not even asking for something, keep saying something. Again,
Mhm.
it's not even asking. Um, I was in a relationship and I always used to say at some point, not all the time, it was an okay relationship. There weren't, wasn't major, but that wasn't like 100% happy. Every relationship is going to be like that. And I would just say, I feel like I'm a paycheck around here.
Uh-huh.
Guess what I turned out to be? A paycheck. It's really what it was. And I wasn't asking for that. I was just making a statement. It was just a statement. I didn't think anything of it. I was just voicing it. But you know what? I put it out into the universe, and that's what the universe gave me back. And that's just one example. Another example is when you put things out into the universe and attract the power of attraction, the positivity. I don't know if I shared this, and it happened again just the other day. Looking for a parking space. I'm at the mall. Rainy day. It was day before Mother's Day. Everybody was out. It was crazy. It was raining. Cold. It was chilly. It was raining. Traffic everywhere. I was with my daughter. Couldn't find a space. And I said, watch this. We are going to find a space right now. It's going to be a closed space. It's going to be one typically where we always park. We're going to find it right now. And I did go up a couple of different aisles. Wasn't finding anything. Going to find a space. We are. I make that turn, and there it was. Empty space sitting right there. It's almost like, what?
It is.
How is that even possible? Why? How is it? And it's one of the spots, areas where I would usually park anyway, but I didn't go there first because I figured, is not going to be a space there because that place is jamming. The space was right there. I pulled right in. I'm like, okay, we're all good to go now. And that's not it's happened like 3 times in the past 2 weeks where it was very packed, and where I went could be a mall, downtown Village. And I just said, I'm going to find a space. That space is going to be there for me. It's going to be there. It's going to find, and sure enough, I found that space. One little example of the power of attraction. How about you? Anything that has stood out for you?
Oh, absolutely. The parking space seems to be one that people can do easily because there's not a lot of resistance to it because we want it
Right.
and we let it go. And yes, I remember when I started doing that, and it's just fantastic to say. I do it usually before I even get to the place. I'll say, oh, I'm going to have a parking place. It's going to be easy. I'm going to get right in, no problem. And there have been a couple of occasions where I'll pull up and I'm like that 5 seconds too quick. The car's getting ready to back out and I'm already too far. I have to go on around. But there's always one there. You're exactly right. And it's because you are able to say, I'm going to have it, and you release it. And it happens. That's one of the first ways a lot of people will do attraction, the using energy. You're using energy because your energy field is saying, oh, I have a parking spot. And it brings it in. You manifest it.
Mm. Yeah, was it you that told me that you shouldn't keep asking? Somebody told me that. Put it out there once, twice, maybe every once in a while. Think about it. And I believe in thinking about it as it is. Like, you want to meet somebody. I've already met them. They're wonderful. They're beautiful. They care. They're authentic. They're genuine. They support me. I'm going to support them. They're there. They're going to show up. They're out there somewhere, right there. It hasn't happened yet. But I thought you had said, don't keep asking.
Mm-hmm. The what I mean by that is don't become so attached that you're asking in a I gotta have this manner. When you're saying what you're saying, you're not attached to it. It's not like I'm going to die if I don't get this person in my life. See, there's a different energy around it. You're saying, I have it, she's like this, blah, blah, blah. And when we say, this is the job I want, and we're trying to manifest it, this is what can happen with the people that have not done as much healing work a lot of times, unless it's a gift for them to be able to manifest, they become attached, and it's like, well, it didn't come, and then they're aggravated, and then they try to manifest it again. But you see, they're in a cycle of negativity.
Hmm.
And that's what's they're resisting it without really realizing what they're doing to themselves.
So if you properly manifest it, is it okay to do it semi-often?
Yes, like in a partnership, if you're looking for a partner, a lot of people will write down the qualities of what they're searching for, what they want in the partner, and then you have to genuinely want a partner. Sometimes people say they want one when in fact they've got
work to do on themselves before they get there.
Yeah. Yes, they won't be able to draw in what they have on the paper until they do fix a few things in themselves, because it's got to be a match.
Mhm.
So you've got to be the same quality of what you're asking for the energies to come together. And it's, some people write it down and then they may hang it on the wall. Some people lay it under their pillow, under their mattress. Other people, as you're saying, when the thought will come in, it's kind of like, I think I said in one other video, is when you want that red Lamborghini, and whenever you see a Lamborghini, you think, oh yes, I have one.
Mhm.
So it's not that you don't ever think of it, it's the manner in which you think of it that's important.
What you just said was interesting, because you said relationship, and my brain went over here, and you were talking about a true relationship, but it's almost like you have a relationship with the universe. Like
Mhm.
you guys, call the universe somebody. You guys are working together to make things better for yourself and for others. I think it can be like that.
It's totally like that. We're all one. That's what, it's hard for people until they do clear out a lot of the stored emotion to start understanding that. I mean, I still don't understand it totally, but as we heal more, we understand more how I am you, you are me, and what I do affects everyone, and what everyone else does affects everyone. And the more that we can get closer to that understanding, the closer we're going to be able to manifest everything we want quicker than what we can now. And we have more compassion and more unattached love for everyone.
It's so true. You have a different view. So why and how can we push away some of that negativity that kind of creeps up in our lives? And you'd be driving and you find you have a negative thought, something happens to you, and you don't want to be negative, but maybe it was something very profound, something huge, and it affected you in a negative way. How do you keep pushing the negative out?
That's a good one. I've got a great example, the one that popped in my head. So I went through road rage doing my healing work, got over it, had all the compassion for anybody that cut me off, turned in front of me, whatever. Recently, however, I noticed myself getting angry when that would happen. And the traffic in Dallas is, it's a lot, and it's busy all the time. And when I noticed I was starting to get angry again when something would happen like that, because I mean, just cut where you have to put on your brakes because they just cut in front of you to turn off or something.
Yep.
I found in the healing process, we go in cycles. I describe it to most clients like learning to ride a surfboard. So you try to get up on the surfboard, you fall off, you go down. You get back up, you try it again. Sometimes you'll go all the way to the bottom of the ocean. Then you come back up, and then finally you ride that way. I relate that analogy to the shifts that we go through in healing. So when I recognized I was getting angry again, I said, oh, we've got some stored emotion to clear here. I need to look inside and see what is bringing up the anger, because thank you, driver, I've done the same thing to other people. So I can't really be mad at them when I've done the same thing. But that driver, I can be grateful to for having triggered the anger in me, because it made me, emotions are the keys. They're golden. They're the jewels to our healing. When you get triggered with something like that, I then sat with it and I said, okay, where am I angry inside? What is going on? Am I treating myself in anger? Do I have some issue I haven't released the anger around? Or is it just some stored emotion that's old that's needing to move on out? So there's a process we can use with all of that.
Interesting. So when that negativity or negative situation comes up, what you're saying is it's a stored emotion. There's something there that created it, because if it wasn't there, it wouldn't bother you.
Exactly.
And that's all we need to say, really.
Yeah.
It says a lot. That says a lot. It makes you think for a second. Wow.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Very interesting. And it makes total sense but the big challenge is trying to figure out where that emotion came from.
Mhm. And one of the ways that I have clients do that is, first you have to really identify the emotion, because a lot of people are not used to doing that because we've been taught to ignore our emotions. So the first step is actually getting in touch with your emotions and knowing I was angry, and being able to say it and label it and identify it. And then it's like, okay, when have I felt like that before? And you go back to a time, and it'll come to you once you've practiced the process. It will come to you and you'll say, I was angry like that when such and such happened. And then you sit with that and you say, oh, I'm still angry about that. And then that's when, in my process, I would say, okay, we need to use the anger room. Go release that stored anger.
You had mentioned that.
And then, I mean, your emotions are your gauge as to where you're at on the healing path. Because then if I'm out on the road and I have a guy cut in front of me and I say, it's okay, I've done it too, and I'm not upset, then I know that I'm at another level where I'm okay again. You see what I mean? Because if I was still getting road rage, then I know that I've still got stored emotion that's needing to be healed and released. And I need to dig deeper and find out where this is coming from.
Thank you for the reminder, because we did a few podcasts back, we did talk about the what room is it? The anger room. Yeah. Okay. And I forgot about that. And I was cleaning my garage last couple of days. And found a couple of things, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I feel like smashing something. But I didn't put the two and two together, but it felt pretty good. It was just garbage. It was in a garbage bag. I'm like, yeah, I got a sledgehammer hanging here. I'm like, yeah. But I did feel better after it. I didn't set an intention when I did it. I just did it. But it does make a difference. Of course, disclaimer here, whatever you're going to do it safely, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, over the weekend, I had a situation with a member of my ex's family, way over the top, just like out of nowhere. And in the past, I would have been like, just, and I looked at the whole situation and I said to myself, it was a surprise, but I said, wow, I feel bad for this person. Like, what is wrong with them? It wasn't, it was a genuine, I didn't put an intention out there. I hope they get healed or whatever their problem is, but that, it didn't affect me like it would have affected me, say, 3-5 years ago.
Absolutely. And that is one of the ways in which we learn to get more control of our thoughts and our emotions. Because see, when we're immediately triggered by something and we're just in so much anger we can't stand it, it's not the action that just occurred.
Mm-hmm.
that action that just occurred, it's not even that person really. It could be, but it's
Could be.
sometimes not. That person is a golden nugget to you because they have triggered something you're needing to heal. And that's how relationships work, whatever kind they are. The person that you think is your friend and buddy and they trigger you, the trigger is golden. That's what you need to help clear your energy field of all the stored emotion that you've never dealt with.
Yeah. And it just, but it's, I just do want to, and you're 100 billion% right, but I do want to say that it's not always you. It can be them as well. And you may be both trying to heal something within yourselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Because the, we have, life likes to throw in things. And that's one of the things I always tell my clients, because there's a common belief in the healing world, if you want to call it that, that everything that happens to us is because of our energy. We attracted it. You've got a problem. You must have an issue to learn, blah, blah, blah. That's not 100% true statement. And that can send many people into a depression and into being they feel hopeless. Because when they have so many things hitting them, yes, maybe it may be, but that's not a good belief to have, that everything that's happening in your life is because you did it. You created it and you drew it in. You follow what I mean by that?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I guess we need to clarify what we said earlier, where you attract things, you can, but if there's maybe not the greatest things going on in your life, it may not be just because of you. You may have manifested it and it showed up, but it's not always you. Like we just said with the relationship. Yes, it's a golden nugget to your healing when something happens, but it might not have been your situation. It could have started with the other person, but you were part of it. And because you were part of it, it helps you heal. You got to identify it. You got to see it. You got to know it. I will say, taking a positive outlook on things and looking for the power of attraction. I can only say, in my journey, and I wish others feel what I feel, but people are so much nicer in my life. Like, what the hell is going on? It's because I'm putting out positive energy.
Absolutely.
But I never
Absolutely.
realized it. Damn it. I wish I knew that a long time ago. Just random people I meet. It's like we have a conversation. I'm like, and I walk away like, yeah, that was cool. Yeah. Wow. I don't know. That's nice. That's nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you're probably finding that you're more present in the moment too than what
Without
you
doubt.
used to be.
Yeah.
The stored emotion will keep us out of the present moment because we're always living in the past, or we're in anxiety over trying to live in the future and trying to control it and everything. And we're missing the most precious moment right in front of us.
Yeah.
And the gratitude journal, as you're saying, just listing 5 new different things every day that you appreciate and you're grateful for is huge in starting to draw in positive things.
I got to do that. I always forget. Life is too busy, but you're 100% right. And it's funny you should say that, because the first person I met on my call it journey said, why don't you live in the moment? Just live in the moment. And it sounded like a good thing. And I'm like, yeah, all right, yeah, fun. We're having fun. All right, great. Yeah. I didn't really pick up on that until recently. And you just stated it, but you made it. And that's why you're so great, Kathy. You make it very clear, because either we're living in the past, and when you live in the past, you have that stored up emotion that's screwing things up, or you're worried about the future. What are you doing? You're worrying. If you're here, and it's all good. And here is where you want to be. Try to stay here as much as possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the key to it all is, and I have to say, for those that find it hard to be in the present moment, this is part of the healing path.
Mhm.
That is very common, not to be able to be in the present moment. You may have that few seconds that's great because it will grow as you learn to get control of your thoughts. You
Right.
learn how to transmute your stored emotion out of your energy field, and you learn to control your energy field. And all the control we try to put in the outside world, we need to take all that energy and put it on our inside world, because it's there again, it's basically us that is creating that outside world. You become more grateful, more positive, then your outside world becomes more grateful, more positive.
Yeah. And that is the power of attraction. And you're totally right. Living in the moment, it'll start here. And then as you call it heal, learn, then that moment gets wider to the point where you're in there's no worrying about the future. Yeah, you're thinking about the future, but that's not a worry. You know, the future is going to come here, and the past, you've got your past, but you're not letting your past control you now.
Mhm.
Uh,
And
yeah.
one of the best ways, if you're really confused of what about what it means to be in the present moment, go zip line, go jump out of an airplane, go do something. You have to be in the present moment to do whatever, if you choose an activity that creates drive a race car, you can't be thinking about the future. You can't be thinking about the past. You are in that moment in that car, and you have to keep it on the road and not hit somebody else.
That's a great idea. Yeah, why aren't we taught this back when we're younger, and why does it take so long to figure this stuff out?
Because we're not taught, and there's not those kinds of guidance manuals out there. It just amazes me how we're taught everything wrong. We're really taught everything just the opposite of what we should be taught. Because if we were taught emotions and we were taught how to heal them once we got out of the victim survivor part of our life, everything would go so much better. And we wouldn't even have the victim survivors raising new children in the victim survivor mode. So it would change everything. It's just that the material isn't out there.
The world would be such a better place.
Mhm.
And it's funny, what do we do? We're out of time, but what do? We'll take a course, a safe driving course, so we can save money on our insurance, but they don't teach you a course on how to live in the moment and live your life better. Duh. It's kind
Exactly.
of, yeah.
Yes. So true.
You're an intuitive spiritual life coach, master Reiki healer. You do so much. You're intuitive. You help with people's energy. And if somebody wants to reach out to you, what do they do?
You can go to my website, kathydcarter.com, Kathy with a K, Carter with a C, or you can text me at 214-245-2293.
Yeah, how cool that you let people text you. Wow.
It's the best way for me.
Yeah.
Email, I just get so many, it's hard to get through them all. So the
Right.
text so much better.
Yep. Live in the moment and attract some positivity. That's what it's all about. Kathy, it's always a joy. And I really mean that. It's always great talking with you.
Thank you.
Don't die on me. I want you around for the next moment, if that's okay. All right. Thank you very much. And we'll talk soon. Okay.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.